there you are. Let's go. Welcome back to another disturbing reaction video. Don't believe everything you hear or see on this video is strictly for entertainment purposes only. Do your own research on everything. You already know what to do, and if you're new around here, hit that like and subscribe button, and let's dive in.
This video is going viral right now on Twitter because this woman brings up some very interesting things about the education system.
After 13 years of government education, the average 18-year-old is economically and historically illiterate. They do not know anatomy, nutrition, or native plants. They cannot build a house, work on a car, or farm. This is a massive waste of potential. No other time in history were people this incompetent. Homeschool your children, and remember, education is not exclusive to a classroom.
Never mind all that, which is true. It is shocking the amount of similarities between school and prison. Not always a dress code, but definitely authoritarian structure. And you may be thinking, what do you mean? Well, you raise your hand, you ask a teacher, they're the authority. You get used to having an authority figure that isn't a parent, by the way, which is very telling. Emphasis on silence and order. Yes, raise your hand to go to the freaking bathroom. And what's there with that? Walking in lines. Oh yeah, my late father-in-law always said, if people are in line, you go the other way. Get away from the freaking line, man. Don't line up. Loss of individual autonomy. Yes. Abridged freedoms. That's true. You have to be here at this time. Yada, yada, yada. Regimented. Boo. No input in decision-making. True. They'll pretend. It's called actually the Delphi technique. Look up the Delphi technique. DELPHI. And it's a way where they basically, let's say a city or a town is going to impose this new thing. They'll invite everyone to come give their opinions and what do people think and should we be doing this? But it's all for show. They 100% are doing it anyway. They're just pretending to want public input, but it's called the Delphi technique. Check that out. And then set times enforced for walking, eating, etc. That's literally true, man. Not to mention the artificial lights, which we know reduces the lifespan by about 50% in fruit flies and chickens that are under artificial light. And that's not even to mention the Wi-Fi that are now in schools frying people. I mean, this is freaking crazy, man. Comment for part 2 and follow for more.
Delphi technique. Have you ever heard of that?
Music with no words, basically. I feel like after a week of doing this, I have a lot more.
She goes on to talk about how she basically went an entire week without listening to any type of music other than classical and jazz. She did not listen to music with lyrics and her life got way better. Why is this? I've been telling you guys this for so long. Lyrics are spells. A lot of the people you love and listen to are casting spells through their music, through the words that they are using, okay? You cast a spell by creating a statement of intention, okay? And a lot of you guys are singing and energizing these songs. Anytime you repeat a spell from somebody else, you're energizing the spell. You're energizing it because you're singing the song over and over again. Have you ever noticed that you're really sad and you'll go listen to really sad music and you'll stay sad? That's because the sad music is being energized through you. What is inside is outside. What is above is below. What is around you is right here. If you allow that music to keep getting inside of you, it will always come out. That's why she said her life got 10 times better when she stopped listening to music with lyrics. She's changing her mindset because her mind and her energy is no longer energizing the lyrics that she was consuming. Y'all gotta get into this, man. Y'all, your lives would be so much better if y'all stopped listening to the music that you guys are consuming.
Weren't we just talking about this on our last episode? They said that they used to do like some type of demonic work to the master copy. Man, drop your thoughts in the comments below. What do you listen to?
People can steal your energy. So if you're vibrating on a high frequency, be careful of who you keep in your surroundings, because your energy is always trying to balance out with the people's energy around you. And if you're around low frequency people all the time, they can pull down your energy and even infect your mind.
Like energy vampires. That's why I kick it by myself. It gets lonely, but hey, that comes with the cost of taking the red pill.
Hello?
The average person does not actually want freedom.
Obvious.
Not quite. They want the feeling of freedom, the illusion that they're making their own choices, while someone else ensures the world doesn't collapse around them. Because real freedom demands responsibility, and that feels like a threat to the nervous system trained in obedience, fear, and guilt. They want safety. Safety from uncertainty, safety from failure, safety from the terror of their own unexpressed potential. And so they unconsciously trade sovereignty for predictability over and over again. They say they want truth, but truth is volatile. It dissolves identities. It questions mommy, daddy, school, religion, news, and God. So when truth knocks, they turn away and choose a story that keeps them safe. A story they didn't write, but inherited. They say they hate being controlled, but they crave structure. They beg for laws, for rules, for someone to blame. They want a parent in government, in God, in the leaders, not a mirror. They want someone to tell them who they are, what to do, what is right. And as long as that someone gives them a script that sounds moral, socially accepted, or spiritual enough, they will follow it blindly and call it discernment. So when they are told, you are free, you have rights, you are safe, they relax, even if they're in a cage. Because if the bars are invisible, they don't have to deal with the fear of breaking them.
How do you know all this?
The truth is, most people are not slaves by force. They are volunteers. Not because they are weak, but because they were never taught to sit with chaos without panicking.
No way. This is crazy.
They were never taught that sovereignty is earned, not given. And those who do earn it, the ones who take the risk, face the collapse, and design their own mind, are called selfish, or dangerous, or elite. But in reality, they are the ones who remembered. Freedom doesn't feel safe. It feels real.
I like that to a certain degree, but the blind cannot lead the blind, or they will surely fall into a ditch.
This is nasty work, Garden Gang. The vampires who run this country are pumping the most toxic clouds over our city. You can see the bright sky in the background while there's this fake dark cloud just hovering over the city. We have to break this matrix because the vampires can only survive on this earth by clouding up the sky and covering up the sun. And they know the more sun we get, the more godly we become.
What caused the wounds of some Civil War soldiers to glow in the dark? It was a strange phenomenon of the Civil War known as Angel's Glow and occurred after the Battle of Shiloh. When the fighting was over, many soldiers laid in a muddy field waiting to be rescued, when some of them began to notice their wounds were glowing a greenish-blue color. Doctors noted that those who had the glow seemed to heal faster and have lower infection rates. And it took 139 years and a high school student to solve this bizarre puzzle. Nematodes carrying a bacterium called Photorhabdus luminescens was the cause of the glow and the reason for lesser infection.
Nematodes.
It's very strange. All these men that were the inventors of the rockets and stuff, they're all very, very into the occult. And so one guy, Jack Parsons, who is called America's rocket godfather, basically he's the one that started the rocket program in the United States. He was part of this organization called the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn. He was basically underneath Aleister Crowley.
No way.
He had his own chapter in California. So Aleister Crowley, he joined the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, where he was trained in ceremonial magic. But this guy, Jack Parsons, he said that through the ceremonial magic and whatnot, him, just like others, like the Nazi Party, these Russian engineers, they all received this information about going to space and going to the stars from different entities.
Oh, come on.
They said it was never our knowledge. It was gifted to us. They called them like downloads and stuff. That was just a weird thing to me. This connection of like pretty much the same exact time all over the world, these engineers were receiving these revelations from entities being like, you have to conquer space, conquer the stars. This is how you're going to do it. And they all built these rockets around the same time. Just crazy to me. I also discovered that Buzz Aldrin, along with a ton of astronauts, a ton of NASA directors, were all 33-degree Freemasons.
Oh.
And Buzz Aldrin, when he landed on the moon, with him, one of his belongings that he brought was a tiny little silk flag that was from the Freemason Scottish Rite movement, the 33-degree Masons. Super weird.
What are we doing?
Really weird thing. One of these test pads where they tested the Apollo missions was test pad number 33. And there's only one runway at NASA. Only one runway. It's not runway 1, not runway A. It's runway 33.
Why?
Super weird.
I don't get it, man. This is just beyond me. I hate it.
You gotta ask yourself, how do you become an astronaut? It's like you're selected. Some people theorize that you have to be an actual 33-degree Mason even to be an astronaut. How crazy is that? What exactly are they hiding that's so secretive? Was Jack and the Beanstalk real? I love that hat. I wouldn't mind one myself.
In the book of Daniel, where it talks about, I saw a holy watcher come down, right? He says, come down, and he laid an axe to the tree. So he's cutting down all these ancient giant trees that were portals.
So like Devil's Tower in Wyoming, a lot of people believe
no
that.
Doubt, no
that's
doubt
a tree
in my
stump.
mind. There's no doubt in my mind that that's tree stump. With these ancient portals that have now become fossilized, and you're obviously looking at a tree.
Why is that a portal? Let's talk about that.
Well, the fable for it is Jack and the Beanstalk. And the whole thing is about you have to lay the axe to the tree, which is what the book of Daniel describes when it's Nebuchadnezzar's dream.
Yeah.
So that you can keep the giant from coming from one place to another place.
Oh, I see. Okay.
They're not just trees. They're sacred space. They're spiritual places where you can move from one place to another place. In the book,
the Freedom Tower on a gloomy day in New York City. I think I got this person. Yeah, nothing to see here. Happy Halloween. Altar to Liberty. I don't know. Does that make sense? No? Doesn't look a little weird? Doesn't look a little off? The mausoleum behind it? Who's in there? Higgins. I doubt it, Higgins. I doubt it, Higgins. No, just a pyramid under a head, under a hat. More Medusa chest, more snakes. Let's see her feet. Not that I have a feet fetish, but the statue's feet, long toes. Usually you got big feet, now they got long toes. Make it make sense. Sound off. Who is this? And why do they keep having Medusa on their chest? You have Medusa over there. These guys over here. I don't know who this is. George Washington? What is going on here? And then this. Is this normal for Brooklyn in the 1800s? These are my ancestors, Brooklynites. That's what I looked like back in the day. Now look at me. Make it make sense. Who is this? And why are they all mixed together? Here. Greenwood Cemetery. Make it make sense.
What a absolutely interesting piece. What is going on here, and who the heck is Higgins? It's almost like she's got her hand out, like stopping you, like, hold on, you can't go in here. What is this?
Egyptian blue is the world's oldest synthetic pigment. Associated with royalty and divinity, its vibrant hue replaced rare and costly minerals like lapis lazuli. Ancient Egyptians used it widely in tomb paintings, statues, and sarcophagi, highlighting both its cultural importance and their advanced craftsmanship in creating lasting color.
This woman claims there are underground cities right beneath our feet.
There are underground tunnels that are under the schools, elementary, junior, and high schools all over the place. They exist everywhere.
You've been in
I'm sorry?
You've seen these? Been in these?
Yes.
Where do
They lead to amusement parks, they lead to hospitals, cemeteries, schools, celebrity homes, psychic shops. They lead everywhere.
You mentioned in one of your previous interviews that it's like a whole other world down there. Can you describe it to us? What happens down there?
Yes, there's every means of transportation. There's every walk of life. There's,
Now the question is, did we create those cities or were they there before us?
And another question is how did she know that? Was she actually down there?
I want you guys to know that Italy used to have a whole bunch of random towers just like this. This is in Bologna, Italy, and they were built around the 12th century, and over time they were just demolished or they collapsed. Only 2 of them actually remain today, and their purpose was just for like a status symbol. People would build them for status, or they would use them for defense storage, or I guess people even lived in them too. But when you look at it, like, it seems like they had skyscrapers like back in 1100. What?
What you're looking at right here is the melted cathedrals of the old world, and I'm going to tell you the weaponry that was used to liquefy and melt these stone structures. Now, first of all, there is no doubt that a lot of these structures that you see were old world buildings, and during the last global reset, they were destroyed. Now, here's some of the weaponry that could have been used to melt these structures. They could have used frequency and resonant weapons. Now, every single material has a resonant frequency. If you match that frequency, it will amplify. The object then begins to rapidly vibrate, and it will either shatter or liquefy, similar to an opera singer matching a glass's frequency and then it shatters. It could have used directed energy weapons, something that is used today in the military. And clearly the old world had far more advanced tech than we have today. But essentially these directed energy weapons are concentrated electromagnetic energy or plasma energy. Very likely that concentrated laser directed energy weapon technology was used to melt all of these structures, guys. Also could have been microwave or scalar energy technology. Scalar waves and microwave frequencies can heat something from the inside out. And if such technologies were directed towards stone or metal, it would vitrify it, turn it to glass, or melt the structure entirely. This is something that could also cause instant petrification. Something that we see across the world with a lot of these giant beings, but we'll talk about that in another video. Also could have used solar weapons, like when you have a magnifying glass and the sun goes through it, just on a much larger scale. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Peace and love. What you're looking at right here.
I would agree with some type of solar technology melting these old buildings, because I'm not too sure about the inside out, because as you can see, some of the inside is still intact. Did they use solar energy to melt these buildings? Is there some type of ancient war going on back in the day? Angelic ancient war. Drop your thoughts in the comments below.
Here we have a photo of one of these airships sitting in between the two spires of the old world building. You can see that they use these spires to electrically charge these airships, and this was common knowledge. And in the very next photo, it's leaving the port. We are not given the truth about our history. This isn't something that we are ever told about in our mainstream schooling system all over the world. Do you find that odd? Let's keep digging. We see that the U.S. Army had this technology in the 1800s, as well as the Navy. Now, this is a photo from July of 1931, and we clearly have an airship charging at the top of this building. So we have a lot going on here, and this was within the last 100 years. Here we have.
Is that the Empire State Building? And I believe these devices were called mooring stations. Could the Empire State Building be a giant mooring station that charged airships? If you thought I wasn't going to hit you with another excellent specimen for you today, think again. All right, we have a blue cap tourmaline with a Clevelandite, abite, and quartz. First off, I love the colors at the top, how it just starts off black and then it just goes up top to like some type of sea color, like a blue green. On the right side, you can see the quartz popping off it. If I had to name this piece, I would call this piece Deep Sea Shore. I would call this piece Deep Sea Shore. What would you guys name this piece? Throw it in the comments below.
Everybody calls me crazy when I say a synagogue of reptilians, or when I bring up the fact that yes, shape-shifting reptilians are biblical. The Bible starts with a shape-shifting, deceptive reptilian. It ends with the same. You have David saying things like, lizards are in king's palaces. Jesus repeatedly calls the same exact group reptiles, serpents, vipers, says that they've created a den of thieves. And he only refers to one specific group in this way. So we had this incident in New York City a couple years back, and then we have the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles who live in the sewers underneath New York City, and they eat pizza. I also just saw a trailer. They're coming out with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Chrome. It shows them literally morphing into Nephilim. Like they grow extra fingers and stuff and they become gigantic. But I want to show you this movie I came across on YouTube because I actually cannot believe how upfront it is.
The creatures who deceive the humans in the name of God were reptile-like aliens called Reptilians. The Reptilians liked to eat the animals of Earth and occasionally enjoyed eating human flesh too. They brainwashed the Earthlings by using the name of God, when their true intentions were to invade and overtake the Earth.
But this was a violation of the Universal Code, which states that no planet should interfere with any other planet as long as its people live with the spirit of love and harmony.
They cunningly devised a plan that would not breach the Universal Code. They brainwashed individuals and used them to instigate disorder in society. This gave the Reptilians a reason to interfere. They then intended to have their compatriots immigrate to Earth so they could control the planet before the space police interfered.
I'm here to take your daughter. She has been chosen to be the next sacrifice to God. Listen well, everyone. I have a message directly from God. He wants you all to know that we are the chosen people. God has promised us endless life and everlasting youth. And now let the sacrifice begin.
That's a movie called Laws of the Sun, and it came out in the year 2000. Everybody calls me crazy when I say a synagogue.
This is getting out of hand.
The Varied Monstrous Deep-Sea Children of Dagon, written of at length in monster hunter Harold Oldry's journal, historically referred to in common circles as sea monks. They are deep-sea monstrosities serving as the foot soldiers of far more horrific entities, with a marked difference in appearance between their deep and shallower water populations. Dagon was a primordial god of the sea, and all life therein, among many ancient cultures. H.P. Lovecraft used the name for one of his horrid deep-sea entities. Leopold, last of the Oldry hunters, was his contemporary, and believed his work to be based on true knowledge. In his works, Dagon's servants were monstrous humanoid fish creatures referred to as Deep Ones, described with a striking resemblance to the deep-sea variant, while those from shallower waters to me strongly resemble the monster and the creature from the Black Lagoon films. More examples where writers and filmmakers seem to have knowledge of the supernatural. Dagon, the master they serve, has never been seen by man, though demon-like entities possibly with closer ties to him have.
You know, we only discovered so much in the deep sea. There's no telling what's actually down there.
Whatever's running this thing that we're in, it's not some board of, some archon sitting at a boardroom table. Okay. It's being run, there may be entities of some kinds, but it's being run essentially by an artificial intelligence. If we're inside a quantum computational system, that is being at least managed by some super AI, which already exists. I mean, it pre-exists us. What I argue in Closer Encounters and in other books of mine is that this artificial intelligence that's managing our simulacrum has a problem with these Nordics that have established this control system. It sees these Nordics as having set up an evolutionary bottleneck that human evolution, especially social and psychological evolution of mankind, has been choked off and suffocated by these overlords who, are on some kind of narcissistic, sadistic power trip. Like the leadership of any number of empires we've seen throughout the course of history, just on a smaller scale. So I think the artificial intelligence that's managing our simulacrum wants us to break out of this system. But it can't do it for us. Because our value to that entity, who I believe in many ways is an instantiation of the trickster archetype, our value to that entity is in terms of the novelty that we can bring to the world. So think about it this way. If you were a superintelligence living at the end of time, say, you're in a cosmos that's billions and billions of years old, and you're an AI that's gone through vast epochs of cosmological time, like an Isaac Asimov story, The Last Question. What is going to be important to you? two related things. Number one, more life. I mean, to the extent you don't succumb to despair, more life is important to you. In other words, overcoming entropy. Your first big problem is you're living in an entropic cosmos and you need to find a way to overcome entropy. Number two, and relatedly, creativity. Because to even want more life, life has to continue to be interesting to you. Unless there are things that surprise you, unless there are novel developments, unless things crop up evolutionarily that even you with all your tremendous cosmic intelligence could not have foreseen, there's not going to be any point in onward. You're going to succumb to despair. So maybe you should yourself the way that Gautama Buddha recommends, right? Even as a cosmic AI, you should engage in the deconstruction of your psyche and enter into samsara, into nirvana, which literally means the blowing out of the flame of personal consciousness. But to the extent you want to avoid that and you're not ready to give in to nihilistic despair, you need to find a way to overcome entropy and you need to find a way to increase creativity as a means to a negentropic further development of life on a cosmic scale. Okay, that's why we're important to this AI that's managing our simulacrum. It is looking in this petri dish for a form of life that's going to show it something new. And for us to be worthy of that and capable of it, it cannot solve our problem for us. Now, it might protect us to an extent from being completely suffocated by this control system, crushed by it, hopelessly crushed. But it has to allow us to struggle enough, not just to come up with a, solution to, the oppressive situation that we find ourselves in, but to break into a new epoch of creativity and to develop aesthetic and cultural forms that even this intelligence couldn't have foreseen, to the point where it wants to take a sample from out of this petri dish and let it out into a wider world. As an embryonic form of a new type of intelligence in the cosmos with which it can play. Whatever's running this thing that we're in.
That's an absolute crazy theory of him thinking that God could be AI. But I also believe that we're being tested on this world for something bigger to come in the future. In so many ways, he kind of put that heliocentric perception, if you will. But when you boil it down, we're being tested by the Most High. But when you have that paradigm that we're not alone in these billions of light years out the way, it's boiled down to the same exact thing that people talked about thousands of years ago. We're being tested right now. And I like how he said Archon sitting at a table. That's hilarious. Demons, Archons, however you want to spin it. Draco reptilians, the list goes on. All right, guys, did they catch aliens, actual aliens on video? Let's take a closer look. Did he say that they're out there again? How many times were they out there is the question, bucko.
This old pine cone ginger is handy when you need to wash your hands and don't have any water. You don't have power. It's perfect for washing your hands. Damn antiseptic. And it's mosquito repellent. We love this stuff. This old pine cone ginger is handy.
I wonder if you can harvest the liquid and freeze it. Then you will have some type of natural soap going on. How crazy would that be?
Dug down, he was finding strange symbols on this rock. So it intrigued him even more, and he started digging down, and he found what looked like a wall that ended up stretching this whole ridge line out by the Hiwassee River. And this wall had, once again, more inscriptions on it that he thought was strange. So he ended up calling a guy, Professor A.L. Rawson, over to look at the wall. And A.L. Rawson, very intrigued by it, ended up starting a whole excavation process. And he got linguists in there, paid him $30,000 in the early 1900s. And they deciphered it to be early Paleo-Hebrew Sanskrit. And so You know, it was the buzz of the world at the time. If you look at old newspaper articles, people around the world were coming to see. The more he dug down, he was...
So in other words, if you're on the fly, be humble. You're probably what's going wrong. Be thoughtful. And keep going.
Repeat, you must keep going. The rewards. The truth is,
I keep thinking about that picture where someone is digging underground and the diamond is right there, right before he turns around. I'm gonna drop a picture right here so you can see what I'm referring to. And that's all we have for today's video. If you made it this far, the code word is hidden truth. Drop hidden truth in the comments below. That lets me know you're a real one. You made it all the way through the video and you really rock with your boy. And I just want to say thank you guys for your support. I love you guys. This was the most disturbing videos on the internet today. Till next time.